here we go. Draft for game number 2. We have a very exciting, well, you could say draft. The battleground is not very exciting. It's Cursed Hollow. It's been tried and tested so many times. But in terms of draft, we are actually going to see for the first time in a very long time the Trader King Anubarak. Yes, guys, you heard it right. That is still relevant somehow in Southeast Asia. Only on Team Relics that is actually on the right side, not on the left side. So we're gonna speed run through the draft right now, and it does seem like we've actually got Cursed Hollow getting picked up. This battleground was decided by Relics, Power of Belief. They still wanted their first pick and ban. They took out Tyrannus Sonya. Relics took out Kel'Thas and Felstad. Finishing up the lineup for POB will be the Muradin, Uther, Zagara, Vala, and Zeratul. For Relics, it looks like it's going to be the Anubrak, Malfurion, Raynor, Jaina, and ETC. So far, it looks like we have got a huge stun lock composition from Relics. Going for Ring of Frost, this is going to be really awesome to see as well. They got the Entangling Root, as well as Raynor's Bullseye level 16 to secure a lot of, you could say, range lockdowns. Anubrak with 2 stuns. And probably also we'll be going for the Cocoon, previously known as the Web Blast, but the Cocoon's going to be really good to have on Anubarak. We'll be able to lock down one target on a set of POB. For Power of Belief, they will secure the Zagara Zeratul crowd control centric lineup. They don't have the ETC to play off the Zagara Zeratul control, but they got that Vala for damage on that side. Muradin probably going to try and shut down Raynor and Jaina. So far, looks to be pretty okay. And just to point out a little bit, we haven't seen Anubarak in a really long time. This is going to be the first in, you could say, probably a few months that we're going to see Anubarak getting played by Relics. They're also the team that popped out Anubarak in the Americas Championship last year, along with GIA, that also, which is from Taiwan, by the way, who also played Anubarak in BlizzCon. But I've not really seen Anubarak recently. Of course, we're going to do our best to talk about how this is going to affect the play from POB side. But generally, they do have the Devouring Maw to counter a lot of stuns from Relics. You could tell for sure the Relics, they will want to make sure that they don't stick together. But on the side of POB, even if there is a mosh pit, there is the potential for Muradin to come back for counter stun. Zagara does have the Devouring Maw. Vala, I think that Vala needs to go for Strafe here. But Rain of Vengeance has also been seen as a counter against the mosh pit. For Zeratul, that, well, it's not to say that we are going to see a huge effective pick on the Void Prison that's going to help keep you safe away from most of these targets at the mosh pit. It's not going to help you. But what it does help is in the event that the mosh pit does connect, you want to secure the back line as much as possible. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On the blue team, we got Power of Belief. Relics is 1 game up, POB. They need to win this game. Both teams cannot afford to lose any more games in the Pro League. Julian will be playing as Malfurion. Zaze on to the Raynor. Mur will be playing as the Underbrag. Yu Yang will be playing as the other warrior. That will be the ETC. Trinity will be playing on the signature Jaina. And for POB, they're going to be on the red side of this game. Anthony Scene on to Uther. Chuming will be playing as the Muradin. Zazan on to the Zeratul as well as Saber. Playing as the Zagara. Last but not least, we got Mr. Deja Vu playing as the Vala. Both teams splitting sides. Relics once again will be going for structure in the early part of this game. And this is what happens when I think scaling changes did not impact the towers, the gates. They just steamroll through them. So hopefully we're going to see a bit of a change coming into that one. Stunlock meta also very, very much still right now. Very different from BlizzCon, in which we saw a lot of viable heroes getting picked up. Seems like after the scaling changes, the Ronda just is so good. Yu Yang does have the power slide, but still getting blocked out. Zazan gives way at the end. Towers knocking on him. He cannot bear any more damage with his frail body. But we also gonna see the fort at the bottom lane getting mowed down by POB. Relics also gonna take down the fort on top, so they trade out the structures pretty evenly. A bit of a nice stalemate here, but POB does get a bit of advantage with the HP of the tower in the mid lane. They don't get any bonus EXP, and the only reason why Relics is ahead is because they sent one guy to the mid lane a little bit earlier compared to POB. But still very close, very negligible lead for Relics right now. And they split off both sides. I mean, both teams splitting off to soaking the lane once again. Julian with the Moonfire getting picked up on not a Moonfire, my bad. Scouting drone, but Moonburn not very effective. So there we go. For ETC, very standard power slide build, rolling like a stone, dominant guitar on the side of Malfurion. Seems like it's gonna be scouting drone. Jaina going for Snowstorm as well as Conjurer's Pursuit, and Anubrak with the Regeneration Master and a bit of a Beetle's build. Okay, this is very, very unexpected. Spawning Beetles every 8 seconds. I know Anubrak at the top of his play, the top of this year is getting picked. The talent that came out of it was mainly Beetle's build. And then he kind of changed back into utility and then faced into Oblivion. Rainer going for Season Marksman into focus attack and hold that thought. But we are going to see Mer channel up the tribute here. The weakness, I was about to say this before I talk about talents, but didn't really have the chance. But as you can see, POB, the weakness for POB in this lineup is that they cannot really poke if they leave Zagara to lane. Because Zagara does have two different skills that can quickly poke at an enemy, channeling up the tribute. That will be the Infested Drop as well as the Hydralisk. But without Zagara, all they really have is a very short Storm Bolt, as well as Vala's multi-shot, Hungering Arrow. That's about it. Only Radiance if you count, but their tool's not very effective. On the other hand, we got a lot of range skills coming in from Relics, with the exception of ETC. So I would say for sure Relics does have a bit of a better draw. Stuns going down. And POB, they really need their level 10. Speaking about talents and levels, they're both at level 6. The talent for POB. Seems like we got Master Warp Blade going down as well as the Regen Master on the Zero Tool. Very standard stuff. Zagara going for the standard and Venom Spines, as well as Reconstitution. Muradin with that Thunder Burn and Reverberation going out. Mur does have that Borrow Charge, will be able to run away. And also looking at Vala also going for the multi-shot build. Uther going for utility, Uther as well. And Tribute splitting one each side right now. So it looks to be very, very even. But if you ask me, going for multi-shot is a tad greedy against Malfurion healer. I would love to have the Hungering Arrow built instead. At the end of the day, Zagara is a solo target damage dealer. Zero Tool, probably a very small AoE, but still mainly fundamentally a single target damage dealer. And for Vala, I understand you want to have AoE damage, but there is the Malfurion there. And that is gonna cancel out Strafe if you don't have anything to follow up after that. Unless it's gonna be Rune of Vengeance. But then again, that is still not as effective as Strafe. And you generally just really want to have more single target bursts to counter against the Malfurion. But then again, they do have Devouring Maw. So I'm not saying that it's absolutely gonna get cancelled. All I'm saying is that they have to make sure that they maul that Malfurion for it to be successful. Zazan swings by, a bit of a cleave damage. Nice Singularity Spike against the Anubrak. Still very squishy for a warrior. One of the most squishier warriors in this game. Anubrak gotta play very, very safe. Kind of want to be like the Stun Master. So behind your front line, you want to make sure you land those Impale as well as Borrow Charge. ETC goes in a bit of a lockdown against that Muradin. Multi-shot, seems like POB wants to take a fight right here. They don't have level 10 yet, and that means no crowd control. Zace cutting a bit of a damage against whoever he can land those bullets on. Zhengming looking for the stun bolt, will not be able to do anything. Zazan goes in, nice cleave against Yu Yang. Yu Yang putting back out again, and Zhengming also gonna be okay, but on the flip side, we got Uther dropping way too low, and a penetrating round will pick him off. Zhengming down to just about 40% right now. Zazan mounts up, gets spotted by a tower, will have to pull back. Relics gains the upper hand once again. They don't really have a level lead right now, and they gotta be very careful because of that. But they do have a tribute extra advantage, 2 against 1 in terms of tribute count right now. So still very, very close. it really depends on who gets the level 10 first, and at this rate, it seems like Relic's gonna get it pretty comfortably. POB is gonna try and soak up most of these lanes, but the next tribute's gonna spawn in just about 30 seconds. They want to make sure that they play catch up in terms of EXP before Relics gets to level 10 and secures an undisputed tribute. There we go, both teams still not level 10 yet, but look at this EXP soaked by Trinity, making a lot of sacrifice going to the top lane to get a bit of the extra EXP, making sure that the team has got a bit of an edge in terms of that experience department. They may hit level 10 first, but still very close. Both team pulling back, and they get that level 10 for Relics. But POB, still not level 10 yet. They're not soaking EXP. They're not going to get anywhere with this. Julian channeling it up. Probably going to get a tribute, and there goes the first curse to Relics. The top soak, very important decision there by Trinity. In terms of talent options, the heroics on the side of Relics, it looks like it's going to be the Mosh Pit. And a 4-man, very, very questionable, you could say, Void Prison by time. There is no AoE follow-up after that one. There's also the Underbarrage popping the Web Blast against one target, but that, sorry, Cocoon, it changed its name so many times. The Cocoon against one target, but didn't get any value out of it. Probably the Void Prison is being used as a defensive maneuver just to keep the team members safe on the side of POV. They also have the Siege Giants pushing the top lane. Mer playing a little bit sneaky. But Jaina taking a fall already. That would be the mid lane. Oh, sorry, the bottom lane. What am I looking at? Zez and Mr. Deja Vu, Anthony Scene, they want to go in for the ETC. They want some beef. Can they get it? I don't think so. This beef can really run. And on the side of the top lane, Saber is doing a great job defending this lane, making sure that the Siege Giant does not apply a lot of damage on the keep there. But he needs help, and he needs it fast. So you try to soak up the damage from the minions. Unfortunately, they're kind of driven to deal damage against structures. They're programmed that way. Mid lane looks to be a bit of a damage against POB structure here. The fort and the mid lane is just about 25%. At the bottom lane, it is about 65%, plus minus a little bit. And Relics goes for a very instinctive boss right now. There is no level lead, despite having a bit of a structural HP advantage for Relics. They are very close to level 12, and we'll get a level 12, but getting this boss also means they're going to get this fort, which means unlocking even more EXP. On the side here for POB, what they really need to do right now is probably pick the Siege Giant camp, which they just did. Don't die in the mid lane, pull back, and defend the bottom lane, or they can just leave the Siege Giant to do the defending there. Relics, they clearly want to get both forts. POB decides to defend the mid fort instead. Zazen goes in a lot of burst damage against Mur right now. Underbarrage dropping way too much HP, and a very interesting Void Prison in a small wall. It's so important that he may get an Oscar for it, but they are not getting anywhere with Void Prison on a small wall, man. They lose the fort at the mid lane and the bottom lane. A huge misplay by Zeratul. Look at a bit of Infestor drop coming down as well. Some AoE damage going out. Devouring Maw on the ETC. Walling out Malfurion frontline, taking a bit of damage, but Zasan getting caught off guard in the flank. Boss will go down. Only gate destroyed, but they're going for a second one. Zeratul out of action for the next 15 seconds. Devouring Maw completely out of the question for the next 80 seconds. It will be the Rain of Vengeance to counter against the Mosh Pit. They have every single heroic you can imagine up on the side of Relics right now. Doming probably one of the off inside. Nope, Ring of Frost, a bit of a waste there. Mur goes in, does not get anything off except for a cocoon on that one target there. Seems like it is actually going to be a Zagara. There goes a great Divine Shield, but is it enough? Trinity in the backline will take the fall. Jumping and ensures a bit of cleave coming up from Zeratul, picks up that one. Mur now taking a lot of damage, but Saber will trade. Zagara gonna be okay. The ETC from the backline there. There's a lot of a breakdance coming up from the Zeratul, but it doesn't matter. ETC's kind of left for dead right here. He is gonna be turned into Rip Eye all over again. Gordon Ramsay is gonna be so proud. On this side, we are also gonna see a huge boss pushing down the top lane. Tribute's gonna spawn Mr. Deja Vu on at Vala. buying a little bit of time here. Oh, gotta be very careful. There goes that burrow charge. And a great entangling route by Julian. Keeps his teammates safe, but the top keep, you just heard it, it fell. So far, in terms of talents getting picked up, looks like it is actually going to be a right-click damage Zeratul with Assassin's Blade getting picked up here. 25% basic attack damage for 5 seconds. Also has got that follow-through. So a lot of right-click damage from the Zeratul. On the side here for Relics, I'd like to point out that Reina went for double barrel. Underbrag with a very standard beetle build. It is going to also be that Burning Rage getting picked up. Ice Block not on Malfurion, but on Jaina. Malfurion going for a bit extra heal on the live seed. ETC getting bursted down very quickly. Nice power slide, picks up the camp. Zazan a little bit too low. Trinity with the flank does not have Bolt of the Stomp. There goes a little bit more extra damage from Saber, and down goes Trinity. Jaina's already gone. Ring of Frost also being used up. Kaku's gonna buy some time. Devouring Maw, a bit of a whiff there. Releasing the Void Prison just a second too slow. Mer's gonna go down. Anthony Scene dropping way too low. Will take the fall. German goes in, secures a little bit extra stun against Relics. Rest of the team gonna pull back. Here comes Hyperion. Zoning measures, guys. Zoning measure. Tribute spawning. We still have every single heroic already used, but Tribute's already there. Vala tapping a well. A bit greedy, is not really necessary, but wants to play safe. 4 versus 3 right now. Zazan wants to secure a lockdown against the Malfurion, or Raynor gets a huge penetrating against himself. Julian now dropping very low, running in a very questionable direction, will take the fall as well. Zaze probably going to take the fall. 2 men down on the side of Relics. That is after 2 went down already. Yu Yang's going to be the last standing member. In a lot of trouble now, buying a lot of time, but a curse will go down against the blue team. Relics now will be in a lot of a disadvantageous position. 2 men alive only, 3 men down. For Relics, level 16 for POB. They want to deny Relics 3 points. And they are in a good spot to do that. They have to make sure they take down forts with this push. Both teams level 16, 20 seconds before ETC comes back. But it seems like Mr. Deja Vu opted for a bit of a top lane defense. It's going to be 20 seconds late to the party in the mid lane right now. They should directly go for the fort. They are going to knock on the frontline structures first. ETC out in just 3 seconds. Most of the heroics could be off cooldown by then. Another big fight will happen. Double barreled and bullseye up on the Raynor. We also got imposing presence up. Numbing blast going to get picked up here for the Jaina. Hardened focus for the Malfurion. And ETC also going to get imposing presence. And on the side here for POB, seems like Zeratul gonna go for Stone Skin. A bit of extra health there, very, very useful. Brit expansion with Mutilates up on the Zagara. And for Muradin, a little bit more extra health with Thunder Strike getting picked up. Vala goes for Blood for Blood with Frost Shot. So Frost Shot stacking up really well with Arsenal as well as the Composite Arrow at level 1. Nice mosh pit, connects on Zagara. A bit of a pushback, double goes in again. The mosh pit is going to continue against Zagara there, but there goes Arena Vengeance, not really being very useful to help Zagara stay alive. Saber with the Devouring Maw only on one target. There goes the Divine Shield. Julian tries to buy some time, but is severely out of position. Rest of POB wants to secure some kills, but will not get anything done. 2 men down, 3. Mr. Deja Vu in a lot of trouble. Does not have any pill up on the Anubarak. Now Vala needs to pull back. Yu Yang once more, gives more chase. Will be out of range for the power slide. Germing is also in spot. Did POB just throw the game? That will be the question. They were just not focusing on the right targets. Muradin falling 20 seconds after the last member resets the entire respawn roulette. And this is going to be disastrous. This could be a game-ending moment here. 10 seconds before Uther respawns. But Relics, they want to play it safe. They want to pull back. Zazan, no Void Prison for 40 seconds. Zeratul, not able to do anything. They also want to pick up a consolation prize, the Siege Camp. And it's their right to do it. We got a replay ready. We're going to pull it out. The moment Relics decides to pull back, there we go. And we got the rest of the red team. They are already in ambush, but look at Jumping's position. Both of those skills completely wasted. Tried the lockdown against Mur, did not work out. Mr. Deja Vu was so focused on the Cocoon target, or rather Trinity, denied Trinity the entrance there. And it just did not work out at the end, because that Ring of Vengeance should have been targeted against that ETC. They would have kept Zagara alive. Zagara would have been able to go in and devour one on the other side. They just got flanked really bad. It's just Muradin not connecting the skills. Big mistake. Zazan saying surprise. surprise. Coming in from the side here, trying to wall out Mur. Mur dropping very low right now. There goes a bit of a chain stun. And the Ring of Frost connecting on 3 targets. Yet another Dwarf toss into Avatar in a 3-man Void Prison. Where is the Devouring Maw? It is up, and there goes the Maw, and it doesn't really connect once again. What a whiff it is. Julian's gonna be safe, and Uther will go down. That will even the trade on both sides. A 2-man Mosh Pit on Yu Yang. Deja Vu trying to stay alive there. Zagara will take the fall. A bit of a burst damage from the Vala, but it will not be enough. 3 men down on the side of POB against 1 on Relics. They will pick up this tribute. It's still not game ending yet, but if POB continues to make mistakes like this, it will be game. Zaze goes in, finishes up Vala 10 seconds slower. So that means that it will be extra 10 seconds on the respawn for the whole team. They should not be using Devouring Maw like that. The timing is a huge mistake. Even if it did connect, there is not going to be much of a damage. I know the Bane battle plan here is Void Prison into Maw into Reign of Vengeance, but that is just not working out somehow. Cherming needs to make something happen. We got Uther respawning, but there's too many damage dealing targets, both the Rainer as well as the Jaina, doing way heavier damage than you can imagine. Nice ice block, it's gonna buy some time. Yu Yang with a bit of a stun. Trinity takes the fall. I don't think it's gonna be enough though. The game is gonna go down. Relic's gonna secure 3 points from the games today. POB once again walks home with no points. Relics just saved themselves this tournament with 3 points. Now, they got a total of 4 points after 2 rounds of games. And for Relics, the best situation for them would be if they can win next week against Resurgence, getting 7 points. Resurgence ends up with a tie against Sage Gaming. We got a replay ready. We're going to pull that one out right now. Here we go. Cherming going in for the lockdown. Anthony seen once again. Great Ring of Frost play there by Trinity. It did have its implications, but look at this Maw. A second too soon. Just a second too soon. And really just not perfect. Reign of Vengeance did a bit of work there, but only 1 wave, and you really want 2 wave to do a lot of damage. Maybe Strafe would have done the work here. Maybe he would have done the work. At least Trinity would have died if Saber played aggressively. Malfurion, Tranquility already being used, by the way. I would have very much preferred it if they used more on Malfurion when he pops Tranquility. And only for that reason. Nothing more than that. Void Prison to zone out the back line. You got so much more crowd control that you don't really need to use it as a wombo combo. But it just didn't work out somehow. And in terms of kills, it's very close. In terms of the game itself, I don't think so. I think that it's pretty convincing to me the Relics won the last 2 team fights. And it's, again, just testament that Jaina and Rainer, late game heroes. Pretty easy stuff. Alright, guys, that's it. We are now going for a bit of a break. We'll be back very shortly with the next set of games between Sage Gaming and Resurgence, and that will be a very exciting series because both of those teams, they want to get 3 points to stay ahead. They're both currently in a very precarious position. This is Babel. If you enjoyed the custom coverage, give me a follow on my Twitter, @BabelCast, and follow the official esports account for Southeast Asia, that is Blitz Heroes SEA, on Twitter as well. Use the hashtag #SpringPro and tweet at us. We'll be reading out some of the tweets throughout the day. Thank you very much. We'll be back shortly. See you guys soon. Nice 3-man stun from CW. Derp dropping very low, having to pull back out against Zircon. Now going to be in a bit of the hot spot. We'll be okay. Nelra again doing a lot of damage against the ETC. Going to be very careful. There goes yet another Breath of Heaven. Derp's going to be okay. Goes in for the chase, but will go down. Nelra not able to pick up the last hit there. No, ETC is going to be okay. Hyrene drops as well. Nelra now going down, but still stays alive somehow. Revenant going to pull back with a Dwarf Toss. Dropping a little bit too much HP now. Will be okay. 4 men down on Sage Gaming.